We are also joined by our senior political reporter, Jonathan Lee, in the ultra-marginal seat of Dawesville in Perth's northern suburbs. Jono, this is another seat the government is hoping to steal.
Yeah, Charlotte, good morning to you. When it comes to marginal seats, there's none more marginal, at least for the Liberal Party, than Hillary's here north of Perth. It's held by 0.4%. That's roughly translated into just a couple of hundred votes. It's right for the taking in many respects. We know that Mark McGowan has been targeting this very heavily in the past fortnight. Zak Kirkup was supposed to be here yesterday. I'm told he wasn't here because he's sandbagging his own seat. He was supposed to also come today, but now isn't coming at all. So it's right for the picking in many respects. For those on the East Coast who try and understand what's happening here in Western Australia, it really is very heavily dominated by the metropolitan seats. There's 43 of them. But when the Labor Party went into the last election, it only held 17, but in a major landslide, it ended up picking up 34 of those seats. So it's trying to pick up the remaining 10 that it doesn't already hold and decimate the Liberal Party, really. As for Mark McGowan's popularity, well, the Newspoll has once again shown us just how popular the Labor Premier is at the moment. We can show that on screen. The satisfaction rating at a staggering 88%. Only 10% of people polled believe that, or consider him or are dissatisfied with his performance, which is rather staggering. For those who would make the better Premier Mark McGowan, his numbers have fallen ever so slightly in this poll. 79, he's down 4 points, and Zak Kirkup has risen ever so slightly. 13% of people polled believing he would be the better Premier. It's fairly obvious from this who people will be voting for this afternoon, but the Premier, at least Mark McGowan, making the point that this is all about experience.
You've been around the political traps a long time, Premier. What advice would you give to Zak Kirkup?
That's a difficult question. I'll tell you what I've learned. Over my 24 years in Parliament is that you never give in. You keep on going. You keep getting up no matter how hard it is, and you never stop fighting. And people respect work, and they respect effort, and they respect people who keep going no matter how hard it gets.
Now, Charlotte, when we look around the placards that here today, it is all about what's risky and those who they perceive, or at least the Labor Party perceives, doesn't have experience. It's something Mark McGowan has been ramming home whenever he's got in front of the microphone.
It's a contest of experience versus inexperience. Our opponents are risky and inexperienced. They are not ready for government. We saw that yesterday. With their costings announcement, they are not ready for government. They haven't done the work that's needed.
Charlotte, we understand the Premier will be around the region, or at least in the electorate, in the next hour. We hope to hear from him and bring that, of course, to the viewers here on Sky News.
Looking forward to that, John. Well, it looks like a pretty straightforward day ahead, but there always is room for surprises. Thanks so much for the update.